Disney now dares to tackle its greatest classic ever: an evil stepmother, a poisonous apple, and a glass coffin. The talk is, of course, of the world-famous fairy tale character Snow White. Back in 1937, Walt Disney recognized the story's potential and created Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the very first feature-length animated film ever made. A remake is planned for 2024, and in this video, we reveal all the latest details about the plot, cast, and production of the live-action Disney movie. So, stay tuned! In the case of Snow White, we are talking about a typical remake, so we can largely expect the same well-known story. Princess Snow White ends up in the forest because of her envious stepmother, finds shelter among the seven dwarfs, and continues to be confronted with the queen's attempts to murder her. Most of us will have come to know and love the story, but the remake is supposed to include a couple of changes, notably in the details. Apparently, Disney is adopting a completely new approach to the presentation of the seven dwarfs in order to avoid a cliched realization like in the old film. During Disney's D23 event, there were already hints of a contemporary reworking of the story. This is meant to appeal to a progressive audience. The current movie title already points this out. It's just Snow White, without any mention of the seven dwarfs like the original. Game of Thrones star Peter Dinklage in particular may have had a certain influence in this regard. In 2022, he was upset that the story of the seven dwarfs was really behind the times. Dinklage, who himself has a common form of dwarfism, clearly felt discriminated against by the remake plans. However, he was promptly assured by Disney that they wanted to avoid the stereotypes of the original as much as possible. Currently, first impressions from the set are doing the rounds. They show a double of the protagonist and her 7 companions, a group of men and women with different skin colors and body sizes. A further change is the origin of the main character. Skin as white as snow, lips as red as blood, and hair as black as ebony. That's how the Brothers Grimm chose to describe Snow White in their fairy tale, and that's also how she was presented in the animated film. However, leading actress Rachel Zegler does not quite match this image, for the US American has Colombian origins. Actually, the fairy tale is very popular in Latin American countries in particular, which is why Disney must have had a somewhat easier time deciding on this rather atypical casting. Yet again, there was a lot of criticism on the web, to which Zegler answered dryly by saying that people would first have to be convinced of the new Latina princess's merits. Another notable difference from the original is the introduction of a new character who will play Snow White's love interest. This character, named Jonathan, is a brand new character not known from the animated film. So, there will likely be no prince, and we suspect that even the matter of being kissed awake by a stranger will probably play out a bit differently than we know from the original Disney movie. We can't wait to hear what other changes will be made in the remake, and how much of the original story will be kept in the end. A remake of Snow White has been in the works for quite some time. As early as 2016, Variety published an early report on a new Disney film, for which the Amazing Spider-Man director Mark Webb ended up being signed on. He'll be joined by Greta Gerwig and Aaron Cressida Wilson as screenwriters. Gerwig in particular is currently on everyone's lips thanks to her Barbie film. Shooting began in March 2022 and was concluded 4 months later in July. The movie is currently slated for a March 22, 2024 release, but a first trailer is currently still unavailable. Although the cast is still quite small, it is already made up of well-known actors. As already mentioned, the lead role of Snow White will be played by Rachel Zegler, who was impressive in the Spielberg remake of West Side Story, and will also star in the new Hunger Games movie. The evil queen will be played by Wonder Woman star Gal Gadot, while the part of the new character Jonathan will be assumed by Broadway actor Andrew Burnap. Ansu Kabia, who appeared in movies such as Hobbs and Shaw and Murder on the Orient Express, will play the huntsman. We hope you enjoyed our little preview of Snow White. Let us know in the comments how you feel about the new approach to the remake, and give the video a thumbs up if you liked our preview. Thanks for watching, and see you soon!